is history of computer. Everything has a history, right? Our human life also has a history. We have read about early men's, so all the things which is described what we used to do while the early men's were there, all the procedures of living is known as history. So computer has a history also. So what we are going to learn in this chapter, that is the early calculating machine, electromechanical counting devices, electronic counting devices, modern calculating devices or computers. So this computer which we use nowadays, and everywhere we can find computer. You can find computer in railway stations, you can find computer everywhere. When you go to restaurant for dinners, you can find computer there. Even now, the online classes, many students do their classes from computer. So where from this computer has come into existence, right? So today we are going to read about that, and we are going to know where from the word computer, this machine computer has come from. Welcome to the class. This chapter will give you the basic knowledge of what a computer is and what its history is. In the present era, computer is an essential product of many improvements over a period of time. Here, we learn about the history of computer. Now, in the present world, era means the century which is going on, the time which is going on. In the present time, computer plays an important role, a very important role in the improvement of the nation in every field. Now, it is impossible to think of doing any work without computer, without technology. So here we are going to learn what is the history of the computer. The first topic is the early calculating machines. The development of counting was very gradual process in human history. Three major tools that helped early human count seems to be sticks and bones used for marking notches, stones and other small objects, and fingers and toes. It makes sense that these tools would be the first used as they are readily available in essentially any natural settings. Even today, we learn calculation using our fingers and drawing lines. So earlier, when we can say the period of early humans and the developing periods, calculation is one of the very important part in our life, right? We calculate how many things we have done, how many, if I give you to do the calculation that how many chocolates you have with you, how many books you have with you, this calculation is very important. So the major tools, the major equipments or the major parts which helped the early human to count were the sticks and the bones. To marking the notches or in the stones, we have seen the stones implement or stone writing, then small objects to count, then they were having fingers. We all now also we use our fingers for counting. If I give you to do calculation in mathematics, many students will count in their finger. Many students will draw the line and they will count. So these all are the methods which We used to do earlier also, and we use it now also. We use our fingers for calculation. We use the line system. We draw lines and we calculate. Next point is abacus. Abacus was the first calculating machine invented in China to count the large numbers. Abacus is made up of a wooden frame. It is a counting device that consists of a frame holding rods on which a specific number of beads are free to move. Simple calculations like addition or subtractions were performed using abacus. You must have seen abacus, and many students go for abacus classes also. What is an abacus? Abacus is a wooden frame. It's a part of a wood. It's a frame of a wood where the rods are attached. And there you have beads. What are the beads? Small, small balls. Okay, and these balls are movable. You can move these balls. This was used to do addition, subtraction. Even for teaching small children, we use abacus system to how to add, how to subtract. Simple calculations like addition and subtractions are performed using the abacus. Turn the page. Now, why was the abacus used? Before computers, calculators, or even arithmetic using papers and pencil, the abacus was the most advanced device for crunching numbers. As we know, before the abacus, the only methods people had to use for their mathematical calculations were their fingers and toes or stones in the dirt. So why do we use abacus? To make the calculation easier and in a simple way. So before computers, even before the calculators, and before the introduction of pen and paper and pencil or the arithmetic formulas and everything, abacus was the one of the most advanced, one of the most developed device to count the numbers. For addition and for subtraction, it was used the most. Before introduction of abacus, early people used to follow the method by counting their fingers for additions and subtractions, for keeping the small stones in the lines and counting them or add them in the dirt. So this was the method they used to use before abacus. Okay, so students go till here, read it.